Hello and welcome to another episode of Rob's Ramblings here on the Bucks and Six channel. Today at the Brown Table of Sports Card Collecting, we're going to highlight one of my favorite products in the hobby currently, which is a product called Topps Now. I think most of you probably are familiar with Topps Now, but in the event that maybe some of you aren't exactly sure what Topps Now is all about, I'll give a brief explanation. Each day during the season, the Topps comes up with highlights from that particular day and makes a card that represents those highlights of the day, and they put them up for sale on their website for 24 hours, and they take orders for just that amount of time, and when that 24 hours is up, they close sales on it and they stop production. And what they end up doing is just producing the number of cards that were purchased, and then they don't make any more. And so that way, the print run for each of these cards is unique to that particular card, depending on how many people decided to order it. And now I've been doing this for a number of years, a couple of years. The last 2 years, I've really been not necessarily checking that website every single day, but quite frequently I'll check to see what event has happened that Topps is recognizing, and particularly with my Brewers, I follow them very closely, obviously. So anytime something happens in the Brewers organization, I'm usually aware of it and check to see if Topps is going to recognize that event. Last night we had such an event. We had a rookie debut of Luis Lara for the Brewers. I'm assuming they're going to make a card for him today. I'll be checking that out and purchasing that. He had a nice debut, had a base hit with the bases loaded, got a couple of RBIs, scored a couple of runs. So that's the type of thing that Topps Now usually recognizes as rookies and debuts and excellent performances on the field. So that kind of perfect storm came together last night for Luis Lara. It was his rookie debut, and he had a nice game. So hopefully they are going to recognize that. Another thing I'm going to highlight today, I'm going to just grab this and maybe bring it up close and personal so you can see it. This is an example of a Topps Now. These cards that are up in the background here are my honorable mentions. This is going to be a top 10 Topps Now of my collection. But one thing I wanted to point out is yesterday I had a package arrive from Zion and MagPro, which was these stickers. These are these seals for one touches, and so I made my own little design with the one touchdown label. So I've started putting these seals on all of my one touches. All these cards here are in one touchdown, so I think those look real sharp, and they kind of go along with my Slab City. I'm going to have a couple of Slab City cards to show you today. So without any further ado, we'll get into my top 10 of these Topps Now cards. But before I get to the top 10, I do want to mention my honorable mention cards, the one I just brought up to show you the sticker on. This was Sal Frelick's rookie debut from a couple of years ago. He had a nice debut. My cousin Bonnie and Bob were at that game and had some memories of him making a fantastic catch right in front of them, but he had a really nice game that day with a game-winning hit. Actually, I think it was a game-winning sacrifice fly. Another one that made my honorable mentions here is Jacob Misiorowski. I have a lot of Jacob Misiorowski cards in this top 10 list, but this was from opening day this season. He had an outstanding outing on opening day, so they made a card for that. The middle card here, this is just a fantastic photograph. This happened to be a card that was Elly De La Cruz playing against my Brewers. I recently showed that one on the channel, as I recently bumped that up from Top Loader Land into one touchdown. But the photograph here is just amazing, and this commemorates the day Elly De La Cruz stole second, third, and home against the Brewers all in the same at bat. And I do believe actually he stole second, third, and home all on just 2 pitches. I think he took off from third base to steal home without even a pitch being thrown. So pretty remarkable feat by a very talented player. This one here that made honorable mention, this was from last season. Christian Yelich had a couple of home runs and 5 RBIs in a tremendous game. The Brewers were in the midst of just a crazy hot streak. This game was their 13th win in a row, and that streak ended up getting to 14 before it ended. But on that particular day, the Brewers got behind, I think 8-1, and they ended up coming back to win to extend their winning streak to 13 games. And then the one on the far end here, this is commemorating one of 2 no-hitters that have ever been thrown in Brewer history. The first one was Juan Nieves back in April of 1987. And then this one, I'll see if I can grab this one to show you. This was a combined no-hitter thrown by Corbin Burns and Josh Hader. And one thing that Topps now does sometimes is they put even better photographs on the back than they do on the front. Now, not every Topps Now card has a back photo like this one does, but this is an example where I actually think that the back of this card looks better than the front of the card. So when I put this in the One Touch, I almost flipped it around so that you can see the case is the sleeve I have it in kind of gives a little bit of a mark on the back. I almost want to flip it around so that is on the other side. But anyways, that's the kind of photograph you get with Topps Now. So maybe I'll flip that one around and put it with the better photograph showing on the back side. So that is the honorable mentions. Now I have my top 10 list. And this is going to be a lot of Brewer cards. So if you're sick of Rob's ramblings talking about Brewer cards, maybe you can tune out and skip the rest of this. But I do have some that aren't the Brewers, but for the most part, that's what we're going to be getting. So the first one on my countdown, number 10, is this one. This one's in Slab City. This is from 2023, Bryce Terang, and this is one of these parallels. This is, you can see that we have a blue edge on the bottom of it, and Topps Now used to do blue parallels that were numbered to 49. I don't know if you can see that. This card here is numbered number 3 out of 49. So when you order Topps Now cards, you automatically just get randomly put into a random drawing to get parallels. And so I purchased this card and was, instead of sent to the base card, I was sent the parallel. So this is pretty cool, commemorating Bryce Terang, his first career hit in RBI and the opening weekend in 2023 against the Cubs. So this was number 10 on my list. Number 9 on my list is one of those that is not actually a Brewer card, and I've got this in One Touch Town. And this is commemorating, again, another feat that was against my Brewers. And so this was very crushing in the NLCS. Shohei Ohtani put together one of the most memorable and best performances in postseason history by hitting 3 home runs and striking out 10 batters all in the same game. So he dominated both at the plate and on the mound. So at any rate, this one probably could go up higher on my list, except for that I'm a little bit bitter that it happened against the Brewers. So as it sits now, that is number 9 on my list. Number 8 on my list, this is a new parallel for this year. This is and last year, I think maybe was the first year that they did the gold parallel, and this one is numbered to 50. Up here you can see this is number, I think, 33 out of 50. And this is Christian Yelich from earlier in the year. He hit his first ever pinch hit home run, and the Brewers end up completing a comeback victory. But this one was pretty cool. It's from the opening weekend of the season, way back in March. This happened, and this was my the first gold card. The first gold cards I got were at the end of last year, but this one was the first one for this year. And so I like the gold cards, numbered to 50. It's a pretty memorable hit. So that one made the list. That is number 8. Number 7 on the list. This is, again, another one from earlier this year. This is Bryce Turang. He had a walk-off home run on Mother's Day to secure a sweep of the Yankees. The Brewers strangely have a history of having dramatic walk-offs on Mother's Day and on Father's Day. I don't know if there's any significance to that, but they have had several that come to mind, and this is the most recent one. I ordered this one for this year. My favorite player, I think, currently going is Bryce Turang, and this was to complete the sweep of the Yankees. So on Mother's Day, so I had to snag that one for sure. So 10-9-8-7. This is card number 6. Now I cheated a little bit on this list because I couldn't decide just one. So number 6 on the list is actually a set. Excuse me, is a set of 4 cards. So last summer, Jacob Misiorowski made his major league debut in the springtime, early in the season, and he had 4 starts before the All-Star break that were worthy of making Topps Now cards. He did have a 5th start in there that was kind of a stinker against the Mets, but 4 out of his 5 starts were just amazing feats. And so instead of just picking one of these cards, I picked all 4 of these to go into the number 6 slot here. So you can see the little quick rundown. In his major league debut, he only pitched 5 innings, but he had a no-hitter going when he was removed. So 5 hitless innings to start his career, and that happened on June 12th. The next start he had was on June 20th, and this was another no-hit effort. He had 6 innings of no-hit pitching before he gave up a hit. So he actually had 11 innings of no-hit baseball before he ever gave up a hit in the major leagues, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. The next card was from June 25th, and he was going up against Paul Skeens, and he outdueled Skeens and had a victory. And then after this one, he kind of had a stinker of an outing, and then after a stinker, he ended up having his last start before the All-Star game, as where he outdueled Clayton Kershaw. So he had 12 strikeouts in that game, and that was on July 8th of last year. So all 4 of those starts kind of lumped together in my memory of last year as Misiorowski started his career with a bang. So those 4 fall into that number 6 slot. All right, moving down my countdown. Number 5 in my countdown is this one here, and this is from the 2021 season. This is Daniel Vogelbach. He had a pinch hit walk-off grand slam to beat the Cardinals. This is kind of the dream scenario for any youngster. If you're in your backyard swinging the bat, you always dream of having the bases loaded down by 3 in the bottom of the 9th, and that's what happened to Daniel Vogelbach. He was a pinch hitter. Brewers were down by 3 with the bases loaded, and he ended up hitting a walk-off grand slam, and the Brewers won by 1. And I will never forget this game. Well, another thing, you'll notice this is another blue parallel. So this one is numbered out of 49. So this is number 9 out of 49. But anyways, I'll never forget. This was on Labor Day weekend, and this was a weekend where we had a big family gathering we have an annual fantasy football draft, but I was not able to be there because I was sick with COVID. And so I was home in bed listening to this game. I was listening to Bob Uecker on the radio. And this is another one of these cards where Topps Now put a picture on the back. The picture on the back is, I think, definitely better than the picture on the front. Because here it is. They're showing the celebration when Daniel Vogelbach came across home plate for the game-winning run. So this one had to make the list. This is number 5 on my countdown. One of my favorite memories from the Brewers regular season. So the next one, number 4 on my list, is another fantastic victory again over the Cardinals. Sorry to all my Cardinal buddies out there. John nerding out with cards. Some of the Brewers' better games were against the Cardinals, but also some of the Brewers' worst games have been against the Cardinals. So kind of goes both ways. But this one is from 2018. I was having another rough time of it in 2018. I had a lot of health problems, and I'll never forget where I was for this game either. Was so sick. We had moved the bed into our living room because I couldn't make it up the steps at that time in my life. So I was looking for anything to cheer me up, and this game was one of the things. I remember laying in my bed, which was in our living room, and we had just signed Christian Yelich in the offseason, and this is one of the first games of the year. The date here is April 3rd, and Christian Yelich and Ryan Braun hit back-to-back home runs in the 9th inning. Yelich's home run tied the game, and Braun's home run won the game, so it's a moment I won't forget as the Brewers went on to have a fantastic season in 2018. They won the division, made it all the way to Game 7 of the NLCS before getting eliminated by the Dodgers. But anyways, this card here made it to the list at number 4. Number 3 on the list is kind of a curveball, a little change up for me. This has nothing to do with the Brewers, but this is one of the most iconic Topps Now cards that they ever produced, and it's tied to the World Baseball Classic. And this was a moment where Shohei Ohtani was pitching to Mike Trout, and this pitch that they're showing here was the very last pitch where Shohei strikes out Mike Trout, and that clinched the championship for Team Japan over Team USA. So even though the USA lost the game, the moment was still pretty cool and pretty big moment for all of baseball. At the time, these two were teammates with the Angels, which just kind of added to the drama of that moment. So I apologize. I've got a little cough again today. But anyways, this card made it into the list at number 3. It's in Slab City, as you can see. And then number 2 on my list, again, I kind of cheated, but this is my list, so I can do what I want. Last year, the Brewers advanced in the National League Championship Series by beating the Cubs in the NLDS. That went to 5 games. And Topps Now made 5 cards from that game against the Cubs. And I bought all 5 of those cards. So all 5 of those cards are being represented right here for my list at my countdown. First one here, this is a team card. Team celebrating the win. And then again, this is one where they have a cool picture on the back. This is the team photo on the field after the game. So that's the first card in number 2. The second card in number 2, Jacob Misiorowski. Again, he was the winning pitcher in that game, so had to snag that card for Jacob Misiorowski. And then the other 3 cards are all gold parallels. The first 2 of these 3, I got gold parallels sent to me from Topps, and then the third one was given to me by my friend Shane, since he knew I was looking for the gold. But there was 3 home runs hit by the Brewers in that game. One of them was Bryce Terang. So this is the gold, numbered to 50. If I can read, number 30 out of 50 on this card for Bryce Terang's home run. The next one is Andrew Vaughn. Andrew Vaughn hit a home run in that game, and this is the gold version of that. And this is number 16 or 18 out of 50. Can't tell if that's a 16 or an 18. My eyes aren't too great. But anyways, and then the other one, this is William Contreras. He hit the first home run of that game. And again, this is gold, and it's numbered 37 out of 50. So these 5 cards represent that one game. So that is number 2 on my countdown. And then my number 1 Topps Now card in my collection is one. This is one of my favorite cards overall in my entire collection, not just Topps Now. But this is Brandon Woodruff hitting a home run in the National League Championship Series against Clayton Kershaw. At the time, Brandon Woodruff was kind of a little known relief pitcher rookie. This was a RC, so he wasn't very well known back then, and he was going up against one of the legends of the game, Clayton Kershaw, in the National League Championship Series. And back then, pitchers actually hit for themselves, and Brandon Woodruff ended up hitting a home run off of Clayton Kershaw. One of the most memorable moments as a Brewer fan that I can remember was when that ball cleared the wall in the playoffs. And this is again another one where the backside picture I think is even better than the front side picture. It shows him rounding first base, and even more fun is the guys on the rail that are just going berserk cheering for him in the Brewers dugout. So I think the back picture on this one is really fantastic as well. So at any rate, I've rambled on here for over 20 minutes, so we'll call it an episode right there. But that's my top 10 Topps Now cards. If you haven't gotten into Topps Now, I would highly recommend it. I mean, the reason I latch onto it is because my connection to this hobby really is because I have a love of the game of baseball, and these Topps Now cards tell the stories and the moments throughout the seasons, and that's kind of why I collect, is to kind of hold on to those memories, and Topps Now does that better than just about any product out there right now. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope I may have convinced you to maybe check out some of these cards for your teams and your players, because it is a lot of fun. Until next time, everybody, enjoy the hobby and stay true to yourself.